Hello and welcome, my beautiful Scorpio minds. I hope you're doing amazing. And today I have a special guest for my sit and talk. Usually I'm here alone, but I'm super happy that you're here. Maybe you introduce yourself, like what are you doing? What are your interests? So that people kind of know.
I'm Eliza, or you can also call me Ellie.
What do you actually prefer? Is it Eliza or Ellie?
That's a good question.
Because I always call you Ellie with like friends and stuff.
Yeah, I really like when someone calls me Ellie, but I started to like my normal name too, and that's the reason why I changed my Instagram name to Eliza Licious.
Yeah.
But I still prefer Ellie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm
Ellie.
Yeah, like I said, I changed my name on Instagram because I started my own podcast, and I try to just help others to achieve a healthier life and just tell you something about nutrition, sports, and yeah, mindset, love, and everything.
She's actually starting, or do you want to become a nutritionist?
In like 2 months or something.
Nice.
A plant-based nutritionist. So
Yeah,
if you need to eat some plants, I'm here to
go
help
to
you.
her. That's the source.
And if you want to pole dance after or before, do it before.
Okay.
Go to
First pole dance, do some of my workouts, then get some nutrition advice. And if you're still not happy, come into my coaching. All right. So today we decided to talk about relationships. Because that's not really part of my coaching program, because mine is more into like happiness and your own mindset. And I haven't been talking about relationships that much here on my channel just because I'm still struggling a little bit and I don't want to like influence other people in like not so healthy ways. But I think we're managing quite fine these days. And that's why we decided to just like talk about it. And she's actually been in a coaching or like a week program, something like that, about relationships and how to like rewire your thoughts. It's always about like changing your belief system and thinking and like really saying, okay, this is who I want to be and that's not what I want in my life. So it's with like everything in your life pretty much. So yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you learned there, or like the biggest points?
So first of all, it was super random that I actually started this program because I got it. I'm following this person on Instagram, and I saw that there was something about a free coaching. I thought, oh wow, it's for free, let's do it. I wasn't really thinking about it, but I thought, oh well, it's nice to learn something about relationships. Let's just do it. So I signed up and I received all the emails where I found all the videos and the content and the exercise. But I started with day one, and then I don't know why I didn't finish it, but I was just like, okay, yeah, I can do it later. I can do it later.
That's with things that are free, you know. You're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and then it was sitting in my email thing, and I was always scrolling through it, and I was like, oh, you should start this. You should start this. And at some point, I was like, well, it's time. You should start this. And yeah, so I decided to do day 2 after 3 months.
Yeah.
But it actually changed my mind. Just this one 5-minute video changed my whole perspective. And not just because I saw this video, simply because it reminded me that I changed over the last couple of months. Because I have to admit that I had problems to open up to men in general. And what I found really interesting is that I like to talk to random people, tell them my deepest secret, and then walk away and never talk about it anymore. And I don't talk about it with my best friend. I talk about it with random people.
Well, that's the magic about strangers. That's why a lot of people also go into therapy, or like are willing to go into therapy, just because it's a person you're probably not going to see ever again. So you can open up without any consequences in your life whatsoever. So it's more likely that you open up to a complete stranger just because there's like no risk whatsoever involved in your other relationships. So yeah, I totally get that point.
I think it's so interesting, especially when you go to a random party where you don't know anyone.
I know. And then you start like bawling your eyes out.
And there's this one person, and you spend this whole evening with this one person. You're just like, okay, good that we didn't change our numbers.
Or contacts, yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
So that was day 2. And then I haven't finished it yet, but after, I think I'm at day 5 or something, and yesterday we talked about red flags, and it was one of the most interesting things I've ever read about relationships, because I know I shouldn't meet someone I don't like, and I shouldn't like spend too much time with this person when I know it's not good for me, or that I feel bad, or not really feeling bad, but like I noticed that I'm not the best version of myself when I'm with this person. And this is one of the red flags. If you notice that you can't be yourself anymore, you should stop this.
Or you kind of have to change to be with that person, or that person has different intentions or different ways of like seeing the world, or different ways he wants to see you, or like puts you into a box. Also maybe unintentionally,
Yeah,
but it's
communication. That's the thing.
like it's key. And I have been in that situation myself quite recently, actually, where I was dating someone and it just like it was fine and stuff like that, but I just noticed that if I were to make it work, I would just not be myself anymore. And I recognize a pattern there because that's happened before as well. And I just realized for myself, just because I've been doing all these like mindset plays, games with myself, that I actually recognize these patterns, and then I can say, no, this is not who I want to be, that's not who I want to be with, just because, not because he's a bad person or anything, just because we don't click. And you told me something before with the 100%, 25% rule.
Yeah.
Maybe touch that.
Yeah, so they explained that there is a specific amount of percentage that you can reach. So 100%.
In a relationship.
Yeah, that 100% is the perfect healthy relationship. But a healthy relationship could also be a relationship between 70 and 100%.
So it's like fluctuating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine you have two visions and you put them together, and 70% is the full amount that you can reach.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the normal relationship just has 25 till 60%. And imagine you put these two visions together and you just reach 25%. That's not even half of this whole...
That's like nothing at all.
Yeah.
And you kind of stick with that person.
Yeah.
Just because you think that's what you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to look for. And maybe you kind of want to settle for something. So you kind of like grab the first one that comes.
Yeah.
That's kind of like who you want to be. But then you have all these different beliefs, different visions of how it's supposed to be. And you kind of like talk away from each other. Like it's just not clicking. You're not
or you don't talk at all.
Or you don't talk at all.
I think this is one of the most important things. We don't reflect our own behavior, and then we try to live in this relationship with someone else, and we don't even know what we want, but we try to figure out what the other person wants. How should it work when we don't even know what we want? I mean, there's no chance that this could work out at all. I mean, in the healthy way.
Yeah, that's true. It's like the first thing you have to figure out is who you want to be and what your goals should be.
Yeah.
And then the next step, if you have that defined and you wrote down, this is my goal, this is how I want the relationship to go, this is my perfect vision of that person, and really write down like the ultimate goal, like the best way possible. And then maybe also write down like the super negative ones. Like if that's happening, then that's not good. Because sometimes when we fall in love with someone, or we think we fall in love with someone, then we have this like, we're on cloud nine, we don't recognize all these patterns, all these behaviors that are actually red flag that we wrote down before. And then when we can go back to our beliefs, our thoughts, or whatever it is, and be like, hey, this is actually not what I really wanted. Maybe it's gonna work out, maybe you can try to work it out, talk about it, see how you both can come together and form this amazing unity. But sometimes it's just a red flag where you can't work through. And also, you told me about the friends. So why is it important to also listen to your friends and family sometimes?
Yeah, that's one of the things. I was just telling her earlier that I met this one guy, and all of my friends said, this guy is
bad for you.
Bad for you. And I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. He was super nice. I liked his vision. I liked everything about him. And there was no point for me that I could understand what was going on, because everything was so clear in my mind. But that's what you said. You have this like
you're
glasses,
in
and you don't really
cloud
see
nine, and you
anywhere.
only see the good things in a person.
Even
and
if even if you're not in love, even if you just like the person and you like hanging out, but your friends know you quite well and they know
that
who
you
you
should,
are.
yeah, it's actually with the one guy I was talking before, I was also telling a friend about it, and she was like, don't, no. And I was like, okay. So the people around you, like friends who really know you, who really like you, hopefully only want the best for you. And if you tell them and they maybe meet that person, and it's really important to let your friends meet that person in the early stages of the relationship. It doesn't even have to be dinner, just be like random encounters, you know. You're just gonna tell them, oh, we're at that shop, and then I don't know, something, if you don't feel comfortable with like a dinner gathering, whatever. But it's so important that your friends meet that person, because sometimes you live in that bubble and you're like, oh my god, everything is so perfect. But yeah, your friends have a very different side.
Or family too, not just friends.
Yeah,
if
family
you're
too.
Yeah.
And then they see kind of what's right for you. Or if you are losing yourself, like if they start noticing that you become like a total different person from where you've been in like a not good way, then they usually tell you, and then you should listen and not be like, oh, she's like such a... Yeah, I wanted to say a bad word. She's like such a bad person for telling me. And then you kind of want to get rid of your friends, but it's like to be with that person. But like, no, that's like, don't do that.
I think it's also really important that we don't like use another like a late relationship or that what we achieved in another relationship, that we put this vision into the new relationship. We always need to finish the past and see this person as a new person, because you will never have this relationship between this new person that you had with another person, because it's all about chemistry, and there are different substances you can work with than with the other person, and you always need to finish that before you can start this new way. You need to open your heart again to this new person. It's like a how do you call it, like a shower for your inner self, that you shower everything down and you're ready to open up again.
That's a really nice analogy. But yeah, you're so right that sometimes we tend to take the things we experience in past relationships and we try to project them, or we kind of unintentionally project them onto the new person we meet. And I had the same problem, and it's most of the time a problem when you are or you were in a longer relationship and then you start dating again. Then you see all these patterns like, oh, my ex did that and he did it. Why isn't he doing that? And you have to stop yourself from thinking like that. Being like, that's a total different person and he's not gonna be like your ex, and it's just like not gonna work like that. And if you still feel yourself struggling to not see your ex in different partners, then it's probably a sign that you're not over your ex fully. And that means that you kind of need to take time for yourself and reflect and see what your actual wishes are and desires, and what kind of patterns you maybe took from the relationship prior that you don't want to hold on to anymore, and let them go.
Yeah, give yourself the chance to actually finish this chapter by, I mean, you don't need to delete the number, but at least don't follow this person on Instagram anymore. You don't really want to see what this person is doing right now, because you have your life and you want to start something new, and you can't start something new if you see what your ex-boyfriend is doing every day. This is something that we always follow the person on Instagram, and we still see on a daily basis what the other person is doing, but we don't really want to know it.
And then you get taken back every time you see that person. You're kind of like, oh, what would it be like if we could still be together? Should I maybe call him?
But there was a reason why it didn't work, and that is something that
reason that didn't work. And usually also getting back with your ex doesn't work out. I mean, there are differences always, and sometimes they can be worked out, but like usually
it's like cold coffee. I mean, even if I don't drink coffee, I know that cold coffee is not good.
I never iced coffee.
Oh well, or warm beer. I mean, I don't even drink beer, but I think this is something else you could
I mean, see it like that, like relationships, and if you break up, something happened, something didn't work out, something didn't click, you maybe couldn't find the point of like being together. Maybe you didn't surpass that 70% of like we are really made for each other. Maybe you've got different visions from the relationship. Maybe you just transformed yourself into like different people, which is fine. But now I lost my train of thought. I was like really into it.
I also have another thing that we could actually talk about, doing the first step. Because I was always the person who thought, all right, he's the guy, he has to kiss me.
Ooh,
He has to ask for my
yes.
number. He has to do the first step.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I thought that, but I never really, I think I never kissed a guy before the guy kissed me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, I think I can't remember if...
I mean, I had the impulse for sure where it was like, I really want to kiss you right now. But then I had this like little inside of me of like, does he really want to kiss me as well? What if I like lean in and it's just gonna turn out super weird? So it's probably all these thoughts that guys go through too. But it's also because I think like society kind of implied that.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I mean, I think that he's the strong person and he will lead this relationship, but there is no dominant side in a relationship. It's, like I said, you have two visions and you want to combine them, and you have equal amounts of decision making in general in this whole thing, in this whole bubble in your relationship. And the first step is the first step, and you both have the right to do the first step.
Yeah, for sure.
There is
actually,
no rule that you can do it now or tomorrow or never.
And actually a lot of guys say that they really like the idea of the female doing the first step, going for it. So
I mean, for the best example would be Bumble. The girls have to text the boys and not...
I actually asked some guys of like, how do you like the concept?
Oh really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
They're like, oh yeah, it's like so freeing and it's so relaxing. Like I don't have to do anything. I'm like, yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, but that's the other side. I like that the other person can text me too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Exactly,
I don't have a problem. I'm really I'm an extrovert, but I know that there are girls outside who don't really like to text first, and so they will never text someone if they use this dating platform.
But then the platform is not for them, so it's also about finding out what's right for you, really. But yeah, it's actually really a funny concept. If you want to try it out, go on Bumble, but I don't know if you recommend it.
If not, go on Tinder and you can do whatever you want to.
Don't go on Tinder. just like go in a park and wait for a cute guy.
Wait. And you don't think that you need to find someone right now, because the moment will come. I mean, even if I'm single right now, I don't put pressure on myself that I say I need someone now. I don't need someone now. I know that not that destiny will do something, but I know that I will work towards this person, that I'm able to build this relationship with another person in the right moment. And I know that the right moment wasn't there because I'm single right now, and I'm working on my inner, on my self-love, on my, like, how can you say that, like, my, I prepare myself to open up to another person in a healthy way, that I can reach this 100% and not just the 60%.
Yeah, don't settle for something that you actually already feel like it's not going to work out, but just you kind of go for it because you want a relationship right now, and usually it's not going to work out because you're just looking for a person, like a relationship, just like a guy or a girl, whatever.
If you don't want to be alone, reach out to us.
I mean, yes, reach out to your friends. Like, you build crazy, amazing relationships like that. I mean, it's not going to be an intimate relationship, but it's still going to fulfill that hunger of like belonging to a group, to someone. And then when you feel comfortable and when you feel like settled in your mind, then you're open and you have that energy of like, okay, I'm enough, I love myself, I'm enough in myself, I don't need anyone else to fulfill me. Like, I'm already 100%, and the other half's gonna come and it's gonna be also 100%, and together we're fulfilling each other, but we don't need each other.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think that's a good note to end, Rain. Or do you have anything else crazy you learned?
No, I'm just hoping that you don't think that that everything has to be perfect. There is no perfect. You are whole as you are. That's what you just said, and you're perfect in the way how you are, and there is no one who will change that or who should change that, because you
or make
are
you feel bad
who you
about
are.
who
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah. If you feel bad when you're with this person, then you should think about the fact that this person
It's
is
not right.
Right. Yeah.
Or you feel that he wants to change you or you want to change him, then it's like this little conflict. And either you can work it out by talking, because sometimes there are just issues of like, we don't talk, we don't open up, which is like really, really common in this society, and we really need to work on that one. Or it's just a thing of like, he wants children and you don't want children, and then like, it's not gonna work out.
Right.
It's easy as that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's easy said, it's really hard done, because
But
when you like someone...
communicate with each other, talk to each other. That's the only way how you can figure things out.
Exactly. All right.
Thank you so much.
That was deep. Thank you for being here. Let me know down in the comments below if you love like things like that, like talks like that, maybe more about relationships, then I can get deeper into it, because I actually really love to talk about it, because I've been like so much into that topic since a couple of years, just because we all get issues. All right, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it was so nice. And I'll see you guys next time here on my channel. Bye.